Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. A very hot and sticky Friday afternoon where I am, and we might have people who are in a hot and sticky situation too. That would be the Parkles, possibly a rumour. And we do spend some time here doing tarot around rumours because it's interesting to check the energy that comes through with tarot cards. The rumour, of course, an old story that goes back almost 5 years to Archie's birth. The mystery around that birth. Among the mysteries, why Nicholas Witchell, who's a very experienced royal reporter for the BBC, was struck dumb when he was asked to comment on the strange circumstances of Meghan being announced to be in labour, and then 5 minutes later, oh no, she gave birth many hours before, and despite having 2 epidurals, according to Harry, was sent home very early in the morning, never having been seen to have left home. Those among other mysteries that have never really been explored. And a lot of speculation that the press might be prohibited from discussing some of those mysteries by means of a super injunction, which is used a lot in the UK by celebrities, people who can pay for the silence of the press. So we're going to have a look at the story because it's popped its head up again. There is speculation that if there is such a court order in place, it might be about to expire. It might be causing the Parkles some problems. There is a theory that they are very costly and that the late Queen might have stepped in to help pay for the initial order, and that if it's going to expire in 5 years, which would be early 2024, April 2024, so that the King himself might have said, no, not going to help you pay. We've had a story like that I read on yesterday. So it's time to look at it. I'm going to look at it from the press's point of view and see just from their point of view. I'm not looking at any of the other mysteries around it because I have to be a bit cryptic right now on this platform. So I'm going to look at the story from the press's point of view and ask, using the Guardian of the Night Tarot, if there are some reporting restrictions around the story. Press perspective that I'm looking at, going to do a Celtic cross. We're going to ask if this is what is going on. Of course, even if there is such a thing in the UK, it doesn't stop press somewhere else from reporting on what might have been going on that day. But of course, they would run up against things like privacy, medical confidentiality, stuff like that. So it's tricky. It's tricky for people to dabble in the story, and so we have to remind you that this is just tarot for fun and entertainment. It is all speculation, it's all opinion here. I just read energy, and there is of course a disclaimer in the box below. Please read it, please form your own opinions on this story. Press perspective on reporting on that birth story 4.5 years or so ago, over 4.5 years ago now. One more shuffle. Let's just see from their perspective what might be going on, whether there's any signs in these cards of some sort of reporting restriction. That's what we're looking at here. We're going to look at Nicholas Witchell too today and the book that he might be writing, but for now we're just going to keep it generally from the general British press perspective. And as I say, that very strange story, lots of weirdness about it, and lots of people have tried to get to the bottom of it with various platforms, tried to make inquiries from hospitals and stuff like that. No one's ever really come up with the truth. There's also a rumour that Lady C might be writing about the story again. We're going to look at that at some stage. But for now, just generally press what's going on, what has been going on, what might be going on. We've got the Two of Pentacles in reverse. We'd never miss an opportunity to bring that card out when that card shows up. So we have the Devil as well in reverse. Two of Pentacles in reverse is dropping the ball. That's precisely what happened to poor Nicholas Witchell. Just couldn't actually wrap his head around what was actually going on that day. 1 minute one story, next minute another story. None of it makes sense, and he had a brain freeze. And that's the Two of Pentacles. I think that's what that Two of Pentacles means for me. And it's also interesting that it's got the Devil there, the Devil in reverse. That's, of course, can be deception, can be lies, can be kind of a vengeful energy, a strange and contradictory energy, a little bit obsessive. Something that he might have been concerned about and didn't want to be involved in. That's what the Two of Pentacles sitting with the Devil tells me as the underlying energy of this thing, that they might all have felt that it wasn't worth going there because they might lose all their pentacles. Two of Pentacles in reverse. It might be a very toxic choice that they would have to make with the Devil hanging around here in reverse. And rather than let's not go there, it's too difficult. It could be such a toxic situation that it could cost us almost our sanity, but I think financial health with the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So making a choice, the Devil in the deep blue sea, choice between the Devil and the deep blue sea. They really didn't have a way out of this. And as I say, there might have been some kind of legal restriction. And even if there wasn't, there's still the privacy issue. And so what can you do? Oh, well, hands are tied. Silence is the best option. There's a lot sitting in those two cards underneath this whole Celtic cross. So let's look at it. Press's point of view. Tell us about reporting around the Archie birth. Anything you want to tell us. We've got the Seven of Cups in reverse. That's an interesting card. Cups, pregnancies, all of that kind of stuff. Seven of Cups is a bit of a dream, not a dream catcher, a storyteller kind of an energy, the Seven of Cups, because it's a bit mythical, speculative, very possibilities, options, opinions. I wonder what happened. Let's spin the story this way or that way to make it sound better. It's manipulating the energy, the Seven of Cups. I'm not saying for nefarious purposes, but it's just the Seven of Cups. When you get the Seven of Cups in a reading, it's not the most reliable narrator in the story. Seven of Cups upright, but this card is in the reverse, which tells me that they might have felt that they had things that they could see clearly, because when the card is in the reverse, you do get a bit of a glimpse at the truth. But you might not be able to express it because you are out of options. You don't know how to express it. And this energy, Devil in the deep blue sea energy sitting underneath there, tells me that they might have caught a glimpse of something beneath the surface, but felt that they weren't able to express it. Let's ask why. Because this is a very interesting card, the Seven of Cups. Let's ask why they might have felt not able to say anything. We have the Eight of Pentacles, a money card. It's a big money card. To do with just earning your keep. Mastering your craft. And again, we had poor Nicholas Witchell, who's really the most probably authoritative royal reporter around at the time, who fluffed it, couldn't actually get the words out that he needed to get out. It's about doing your job, and as I say, getting a glimpse beneath the surface of what might actually be going on, but being bound. It's interesting that it's bees and it's a hive. It's a bit hive-mindish, this card. It's a bit, okay, I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm not going to say what I might want to say because I've got to be able to earn my keep. I need to keep my job. I need to toe the company line here. So I'm not getting actual legal anythings. We're still going to ask, but I'm not getting any sign of a justice card or a Queen of Swords or something like that, which would say to me, there's a court order, possibly. Speculating. This tells me hive mind, toe the line, toe the company line. If you want your job, this is what you've got to do. And I think that's why the brain freeze on the Devil and the deep blue sea. I love this, the way that the universe has presented this thing for me, what's the word, saying for me with these cards. For us, not for me. What's going on behind the scenes? What's at the root of this wild speculation and this awkwardness? Three of Pentacles, another of these collaboration kind of a things. This was a joint effort. Somehow. Again, I'm not getting courts. I'm not getting legal process. I'm getting teamwork. I'm getting press office. I'm getting messages going to and fro that are coming from quite reliable sources, because Pentacles are reliable. They're not flaky at all, normally. And so this is a kind of a joint effort. It chimes with this Eight of Pentacles, toe the company line, hive mind. This is what's been agreed. This is what we're all going to do. We all agree on this narrative. It's not telling me why. It's just telling me that this is what happened. And because I'm reading it from the press point of view very deliberately today. So what is the press focused on in their reporting, in their way of handling the situation? What are they focused on? King of Swords in reverse. That to me says that they don't want to tangle legally with anyone. King of Swords in reverse. King of Swords is lawyers. Very much. If I got that card down here, I would have said, oh yes, there is definitely something in the legal system that has happened. But this to me is we want to avoid something. We want to avoid trouble with that King of Swords. Harry is the one famously who announced that the royal family made an agreement with the British press. And he made this pronouncement in court. And that energy so far is telling me that he might be onto something. He might say something like that because in his own case, this might have happened. That the press might have come to some agreement with the palace about the story and how they would report it and what they might leave out of their reporting. Very interesting. Not quite what I was expecting here. That's why we do tarot. We do tarot to try and read around these situations to see what kind of leaks out. King of Swords in reverse, worried about the legal implications, worried about tangling with somebody. King of Swords in reverse is not a truth teller as well. Very, very careful with careful to massage the truth. Just saying, I'm just putting that there. What's happened in the past? And we can still maybe see legal things. What was going on in that past Eight of Swords? Somebody got themselves into a mess. And we know who that somebody is. This, if you're wondering what this means, it's somebody who's down in a trap, literally looking up from the hole in the ground, up at the moon, the stars, the sky. They can't get out of the hole that they've got themselves into. It's literally a trap. So somebody, and we would speculate that those would be the two in Montecito, got themselves into a spot of bother and couldn't get out of that spot of bother, and so needed all of this to happen. That's how I'm reading it. And that is my prerogative. That's my personal opinion about this situation. Backed up by the cards that I read. And it's backed up consistently by the cards that I read. But again, I have to point you to the disclaimer and say, please form your own opinions about this whole story. So what's coming up next? Is there going to be some kind of renewal of an injunction? Is there going to be some truth telling in the near future? What is coming next? Exposure? What can we look forward to in the very near future? We have the Magician, more spin. There's going to be more spin around this story. It's the absolute PR card, the Magician, the trickster energy. I'm not saying there's trickery, but I do think spin. I think it's going to be off the charts level of spin with the Magician energy. It's very powerful energy. It's potent energy. It's right at the beginning of the major arcana. It follows the Fool. You can see it's number one in the major arcana. The Fool is the 0 card, resetting, going back to that point zero, and the magician comes next. And how are we going to spin the story? What story are we going to tell? There is going to be, I almost get the idea of discussions, meetings with people. How are we going to spin this? How are we going to resolve the story? What are we going to say now? Almost they're onto it, whatever it is. We're not speculating about that kind of it in this reading. So now what? That's what I'm getting from that card. Now what? But it's big. All the players are there because the magician has the cups, the wands, the pentacles, the swords. They're all there in this. How are we going to tell the story now? What are we going to do now? What do they know about Archie's birth? How do they view it? How do they view that story? Just an open-ended question, not asking for anything specific, but what do they think about that story? The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is kind of a rescue energy for me always. It's very swift. It's pretty cutthroat. It charges in. It does whatever it needs to do. It's strategic. It's clever. It's fast-acting energy, the Knight of Swords. It takes no prisoners, the Knight of Swords. So whatever happened, it was brutal. It was swift. It's probably left heads rolling that we can't see in this card. It's not deceptive. It's just very quick, and the whole thing did happen very quickly. We went from waiting from days late, mystery around due date, and days and weeks went by. It became the 11-month pregnancy, and then suddenly it was all over before it had even started. It's that energy. It's very, but it's harsh energy as well. What pressure are the press under? We've already seen the King of Swords up there in reverse. What pressure are they under? 9 of Cups. That is a pregnancy card. 9 of Cups, 9 months, literally 9 months. And as I have just said, 9 months came and went from when the coat that was first shown as being too small at Eugenie's wedding. A sort of an afternoon after the pregnancy test that Harry fell asleep while she was taking. Do you remember that story? Amazing. They're under pressure to keep this story whole. This 9 of Cups story. It's all just the way it's normal. Nothing to see here. Move along. 9 of Cups. That's their pressure, is to keep this narrative intact. Hopes and fears for the press. Temperance. Patience. They're sitting this one out. It's the patience card. They're hoping that if they wait long enough, if they are patient for long enough, at the end they will get their reward. Something will come that will be worth it for them. Temperance card. And it speaks to this deal that I see down here with the 3 of Pentacles between the royals and the press and the Parkles. 3 parties here: royals, press, Parkles, and the 8 of Pentacles. You need your job, you want work, you want to go on tour with us, you want to have those stories, you want interviews, play ball. So they're hoping, but let's see. Is it going to be worth it for the press? Are they going to get to tell the tale that they really have to tell us, or not? They may well, because we have the Page of Cups in reverse. And so there is the birth story, the child, the tale about the child, the Page of Cups. It's in reverse. It's communication. It can involve an apology, the Page of Cups. It's a sad story. And they might have something to tell us, which is sad. And there has been speculation about that. That how this is going to be spun, the magician, is going to frame it in such a way that we feel sorry for the main players rather than angry with them. They lied to us, King of Swords, but there was a reason. Page of Cups in reverse. I think that that's what's being spun, or going to be spun, with that Page of Cups in reverse. There have been all kinds of theories, speculation about situations that might have gone tragically wrong. Let's just put it like that. And so I think you can fill in the gaps with what I'm saying here as fits your view of things. Let's put it like that. And let's leave it there, because I get a very strong sense that this is what's coming next. And so thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.